Welcome back to Dive Time Dota International 2016 Fastcasting. Oh my god, this is the exact same as the last game. We're here with EHOME and Alliance Game 2, upper bracket quarterfinals. This is Game 2, yeah. No, see, Lone Druid came through.
Ah, yes, you're right. There's your Bulldog carry.
Yep. I just am surprised that EHOME is banning out Brood over the Bear.
Yeah, you must not have seen many Alliance games in the group stages.
No, I didn't watch the entire group.
That was the Bulldog hero that kept coming through and actually making a difference.
Okay,
I think they won a lot of their crucial Game 3 group games with the Brood Mother as well.
I feel like there's almost like a peak level of play from heroes until they get too well known, and then other teams actually specifically play against the heroes, the player's strengths. Like, I feel like Alliance is at a hindrance here. I mean, EHOME has a history as well, but people know Alliance extremely well. You can watch hundreds of their games.
I definitely agree with what you're saying. And like Bulldog also is like a very big caster, so like you can literally watch him play anytime and try to learn from
his game style.
But here, I want to talk about the draft really quick before I don't get a chance to. So EHOME goes with the exact same first two picks as they did in the last game. They're trying to keep things similar. They go with Mirana and they go with the Shadow Demon, and it worked, and so that's what they're going to go back to. And that's interesting because we've seen a lot of teams who won the game 1 go with an experimental lineup in game 2 to see if they can win it in kind of a crazy way, and then go back to conventional in game 3.
Or even a troll lineup.
Yeah, even a troll lineup, which we saw yesterday. Meanwhile, Alliance, their first two picks were the Ogre, which was someone that they picked in the first game, and then the Lone Druid, which is a Bulldog carry. So they're going back to more of a comfortable sort of thing. I think it's still a little bit of like a long shot. Like, if we can't play in this meta, then we'll play in our old meta. We'll do what we've been able to do before. And there's First Blood on Fenrir, the dive past the tier 1, and that goes away the Alliance. So it's a lineup 1-0, but Bulldog goes down under his tier 1. With an EHOME 2-man dive, but there's a kill. Battler Rider cleans up the Sand King, so now it's 2-1 Alliance, and the fighting actually might not stop. Sven making some action on the Ogre. The Mirana barely getting away in the mid. Arrow comes out, doesn't hit. Anyway, just going back to Alliance's pick really quick. And then they go with a PA. That's not something I've seen them run a lot of.
It's very much in the meta, though.
It is, and so is the Bat Rider. Bat Rider, not an Alliance hero in my mind any more than any other team, but it is in the meta. So I think it's kind of like a mismatched sort of draft from them, where they pick the Lone Druid, but and the Ogre is a good support for him, and that's a kill in the mid. A DD, PA, doing some work on an EHOME's mid. So it's 3-1 now.
This is a seriously action-packed first 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Alliance is trying to regain the psychological upper hand here.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, I'm worried about Alliance's draft because it seems like they've got two different strats going on. EHOME there getting another early game kill, and now it's 3-2.
Well, you look at EHOME, and every single one of their heroes has a lockdown. Every single one.
That's very true.
Like, all 4 can set up something from Rana's arrow.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. I really think instead of changing it up, they've doubled down on what worked last game. And that's exactly what you would want to do. I mean, like, I think it's the Ogre gets killed in the mid, and now it's 3-3. I think that's what you want to do, and I think it's interesting that we saw that Pudge Techies lineup yesterday in a game 2, because that, I mean, there had no real precedent to use that strat. It was a total pocket strat. It was an oddball strat, but I think consistency is going to go further than sort of surprises, because there's been so many surprises already in this tournament. That's a lasso on the Sand King. Sand King goes down again, and now it's 4-4. 10 minutes in, kills are even. Last hits going the way of EHOME a little bit, but net worths are still pretty close.
Sand King's at the top.
And speaking of Sand King, he just got an epicenter kill on Lone Druid. That's 2 deaths on Bulldog. That he can't be happy with that. I think he started in the safe lane too, and now he's in the off. I kind of just want him to be jungling, probably.
Yeah, but then they lose towers.
Yeah. No, for sure. So EHOME smokes out of the top and moves towards the rune, and they get another kill. They're doing things as a group, and they're using those stuns and disables like you talked about. So, yeah, I really think EHOME is in a good position here in terms of game plan. Bat gets a lasso on Sven, yeah, and that kill cannot be understated. That is going to slow down EHOME significantly.
Yeah, we
It's an
got our
off lane.
Blink on bat already. That's going to be pretty key.
Load up PA. Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever seen load up.
Marana's actually surprisingly close to the. Well, not surprising. We're almost
Big
at 2
stack for
minutes.
Sven. And they Alliance somehow sniffs it out. I don't.
They have
Do
the
they have
ward
vision?
on
Oh,
top
they
of Roche
do. So they come in and get 2 kills. And did they clean up the ancient stack?
No, that's
they
smoke.
just left it there.
That smoke on bat planted that ward, got the kill on Sven, and then they got the second kill on Sven when they tried to take the ancients.
Well, EHOME didn't like it. Alliance takes 2 more in response. The Ogre and the PA around the Roche Pit and the Radiant Jungle. And they turn that into a tier 1 bot. I think that's the first. No, it's not the first tower of the game. That's 2 towers down for Alliance.
No, Alliance has no towers of their own taken.
Yeah, no, Alliance's push has not shown up, but really, who is there to push except Lone Druid, who's been having trouble in the early game, so.
No, you need to give time for PA
Oh,
to come online,
the
but
Sand King.
EHOME is not going to allow it.
Yeah, Sand King gets the catches the
wow.
PA behind the tier 2.
This
and
Sand King is just
down
making
goes the
plays.
bat, down goes the Lone Druid. It's EHOME's coming online earlier than Alliance, like they did in game 1, and Alliance. Well, there's 1 kill.
Yeah. Shadow Demon actually stood and fought 2 heroes. That should be telling you something about EHOME's mind state.
Yeah, I think that Alliance's game plan is to farm up and get big, and I think EHOME's game plan is to go out there and get ganks, and that will get you farm. So I think EHOME is really doing a good job disrupting. There's a Marana ult they're smoking the Marana ult, and they get the Ogre in the mid and the tier 1. And
DD on Marana while we're at it.
Alliance is kind of stuck. EHOME's kind of relentlessly pushing in. Here comes damage on the tier 2. The Batrider comes in with a lasso, but it gets Elder Titan stunned, and
That takes the Sven out.
Sven does fall, so that is a good kill for Alliance again. And it doesn't cost them anything, so have to be happy with that engage. It could lead to the turnaround. There's a big epicenter blink, burrow strike into the Ogre. The
But
Sand
1
King
for
does
1,
pay
that's
for
not-
with his life. Yep.
It's not really worth it.
And Alliance gets a cleanup kill on Sven and then Shadow Demon, but it comes at the price of 2 of their cores. In fact, maybe all 3. I think the Batrider was previously down. Whew.
Ags on Sand King. He's going to be moving even more now.
He just died again, though. Sand King doesn't seem to have a net worth problem here.
Well, he used to be on top, not so much anymore. But that's
Yeah,
actually what
I
you want to
mean-
see. You want to see him dominating the early game and making space for his cores to get that farm.
So there was the Sand King epicenter gank on the Ogre again, who was way too far pushed out considering the lead that EHOME has.
They could have been pushing
And
towers.
so I think here's the mid game is like Sand King can't kill people alone anymore. So, but his team was there as usual, and they were able to finish off the Ogre. Like I think the whole epicenter, entire duration epicenter, got Ogre down to about half life, maybe. So maybe a little less. Alliance with the smoke, and they're in their own jungle. They don't find any trouble though. EHOME smokes behind their tier 3, and they move into where Alliance is, and lots of BKBs, lots of ults. The PA goes down, the Skywrath goes down, Lone Druid goes down, EHOME just one by one by one. The Ogre also goes down. That's a 4-man wipe for going the way of EHOME.
That's got to feel really bad for Alliance. EHOME was all below 25%.
Yeah. I think they have a lineup problem. Their damage isn't the same type. They don't have like bursty damage yet. They don't have like sustain or any sort of like counter damage. I feel they're very vulnerable in any team fight. Speaking of team
Here's
fight,
another
EHOME forces the issue with an epicenter. They get 2, and then it just ends up being a numbers game, 3-4. Another 4-man wipe for EHOME, and they get the PA on the high ground. That's a 5-man wipe and a tier 3 and a set of racks. So it's looking like EHOME has done it again. They've got their mid game set up to push, and that was a set of racks mid and a tier 3 bot. They'll back now. Not a set of racks, just 1 racks mid, excuse me. Alliance is gonna have to. They're gonna have to take a perfect team fight and then back, and then take a perfect team fight and then back, and then take a perfect. And they're gonna have to do that a few times if they even want to think about pushing
I mean,
again.
PA gets a Battle Fury and gets the luckiest series of crits. I mean, there's an
Did
out when you have
PA go
PA on your
Battlefield?
team. No, she did not.
Yeah,
so
I don't-
You got to farm that out. Which it's not looking like they're gonna have space to do so.
That's the Rax finished in the mid lane, and EHOME moves into the bot again. They get 1, they get 2. The defense isn't really set up the way they need it to be, so that's another Rax bot. And EHOME goes to move top to do their final push, the coup de grace.
But that's actually a PA move, and PA's on Alliance.
Oops, I don't play PA either. The question I have is, how far did the bear get? Did he get to a Radiance?
He got Radiance at around 20. Yeah.
Okay, so it was good timing on the Radiance. So that's what they're thinking. Instead of the Battle Fury on PA, they'll damage in an area around the bear, but it's just not enough. The EHOME moves in; they're just too ready.
And another 36-minute GG.
So EHOME convincing 2-0
Look at that last fight recap.
win.
Jesus.
Great recap, so that's it. So EHOME will move on to the semis in the upper bracket. Alliance drops down to the losers bracket to face someone. TNC
Somebody
maybe?
in the losers bracket. Huzzah!
We don't cast the losers bracket, so you can watch that on your own time. Tune back in with us to watch EHOME versus their opponent in the upper bracket soon.
Yes, watch more Fastcast. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye!